So I've been practicing this video for a while. I've gone over it time and time again in my head, just kind of like everything else that I do in my life. I just envision myself living that moment out before I really get there. And so looking at it from different angles and perspectives so that when I actually go through it, I have a better idea of like how I want to address it. It's kind of like when I was younger, when I was playing basketball, my mom always told me to see the ball going into the basket. And I was a pretty naturally great shooter, and that worked for me, like just imagining that. And from then I just kind of always went back to that in any way that I could in life, is like see this moment happening and then live it. So lately I've just been thinking a lot about fulfillment and what that means to me and why I wasn't really feeling that internally. I had gone through everything that you're supposed to do in society, from going to school and getting a scholarship and playing sports to then now working in my career in what I study in design. And so for so many times I would just think that the answer was design more. At work I don't feel like myself, so I'm gonna do something I'm more passionate about and like work for myself and design just for fun. And that really wasn't working either. And I was feeling like I just felt like I had lived that full life. I was 31 and I knew I needed more, but I didn't feel like my true self. And I just knew that I had to take a deeper look at what my life was and what do I see for myself and who do I know that I am. And I just knew that it didn't match up to what I've kind of always felt with. I know that I've been disconnected from my identity and my gender, and I don't think that I ever really knew how to deal with that or attack that or what that even meant. And I would think about it and I would see others that, like I would have thoughts that I knew didn't match a girl's thoughts, but I just was like, it's fine. I'm just gonna continue to be this person and just change the way that I look or change the way that I'm dressed or change, just making sure that like I have the right ideals and morals. And like I just felt like that was shaping me to be who I thought that I was. And it's not that I don't like that person. I'm really proud of that person. I love that person. But I just know that I'm actually trans and probably have been for a really long time. It just, like I said, I didn't know how to like go about that, and I really don't think it was I know it wasn't until I met Passion that I was even able to like really put that into perspective and understand that. And she called me out for like different things that I would say that didn't match up, and it's not that it was wrong, it's just like, hey, like, do you think that this could be something a little bit deeper, like my chest, for example. And I know that for years I've always felt that they're just way too big, and I've been just dysphoric, and I would just look at myself every day and just hate myself and feel like I'm huge or that I'm this, or just any negative thought that I could have, I was having. And so then I turned to binding like 2 or 3 months ago, 3 months ago or so. And just seeing the excitement that I felt, like after putting it on and putting on some of the shirts that I would normally wear, and just seeing how much better they fit me and how flat my chest looked and how just truly exciting and excited I was for that. I knew that that's what I needed to do. I knew I needed my body and my identity needed to match like what I feel internally. And so in talking with Passion, that was for the first time I ever really just said it to myself, like, I am a trans man. And it just felt liberating. And ever since then, just thinking of myself that's my reality. Like, so often before I would see someone else going through a transition, and I would say, I could never do that, because it just takes so much courage to step outside in front of the world and become something else, with everyone having their opinions and their thoughts on it, and you transitioning and trying to figure out like this new person that you are, all while maintaining a normal life. Like, that's a lot. And I never really saw myself as doing that until now. The timeline has been crazy. I saw a therapist first 2 weeks ago. Today is my second therapy appointment, and my first one was 2 weeks ago on May 14th, which is my basketball number, so that was pretty cool. Also a sign, the reason why it was going well. So yeah, 2 weeks ago, I met with therapist for the first time, and then from there it was about me finding a primary care doctor. I found that really quickly, got everything situated, set up, and I had the first doctor's appointment the following Wednesday, so a little over a week later from the first therapy appointment. And then had the first doctor's appointment, and now that went well. I had labs already. They came back today. Everything was fine. I'll start on Thursday, so that's like, again, a week and a day later from the previous appointment. So like I said, everything's been so smooth and so just like doors are just open. Just going through these things and just taking care of, knowing that I have things to do, but doing it right then and there and not procrastinating or waiting. And that's just how I knew that, like, this is something I really want, something I really need, something I believe in, I'm excited for, because I'm like actively going through with like making sure that everything happens. And everything's just really worked out so well. Like, it's just so as soon as I do something, like it's like accepted into the universe, and I just feel like I'm finally feeling like I'm living for a purpose. And I just know that like the fulfillment that I was talking about like really comes back to me being my true self, like transcending higher into like a higher self. And also just when I think of impact and what I want to do, I just know that it's more from like a healer type of perspective, or just healing and helping others in their time of need, and just really inspiring everyone else to be better, because I really truly feel that every day, like, we can always be doing something to be more aligned with our true self internally. And that can be scary, and that can be confusing at times, and that can go against the grain or what other people might be doing or thinking or saying that the world should do. But like, the best thing you can always do is to do whatever it is that makes you you. And so I'm going to start by inspiring myself by living in my truth and watching the process to then maybe inspiring anyone else, whether that's from a trans perspective or just a career in life, love, anything it is. Like, I just want to know that I'm inspiring other people to find what it is about them that makes them who they are, and living by that no matter what. And just knowing that there's other people out there that definitely have their back and support them. Like, everyone deserves to be happy. When I see everyone in the world, like, my first thought is like, oh man, I really hope that person is like living in a way that they want to live, like, for them, and that's making them happy, and they're doing the things they're passionate about and what they love and what makes them happy. Like, everyone deserves that. So yeah, this is really about fulfillment and true happiness, and finally living for me, like me and myself, to not be so selfless, and to start learning what it's like to be selfish in a healthy way. Stepping out of my comfort zone and actually like making these videos for myself, but again, for anyone else that might need them for any reason. Like, I want everyone to just be able to grow in every aspect of their lives. I want to finally start just listening to my inner self now that I'm more able to, now that I'm more free, and just truly believing in what I know and what I feel, really. Like, it's really just going off of feeling and knowing that the universe is guiding me to the spot that I ultimately want, and know that I should be finally being able to live that as like a single life. Like, I felt like I was living a life of duality, like I was two people at one time, and it was so draining and so tiring. And like, finally I could just live as one person, and that's me, and that's myself. I want to transition. I want to take the highest dose of tea. I want to be called they, them as I transition for a short period until I'm comfortable with he, him. My chosen name is Saint Hall. That is what you can call me whenever you feel like it. starting now. You'll see my stuff change. And I went back and forth on that as well. Just like, I knew it in my heart that I wanted it to be that, but I would kind of shy away from it, and I would try to come up with a second or a third or a fourth, and I'd say Zion, and I'd force myself to try to come up with anything else, and I knew that I wanted Saint, and I would ask other people, and they'd be like, well, you know you want Saint, that's dope. But to me, I was just like, man, people are going to see that, and they're going to think that I just think I'm so high and mighty person that is being silly because you can choose your name, and it's not it at all. Like, I've actually always felt aligned with that. And I wanted to pick something that like I see myself as, and I changed like my Instagram to A Sainted Soul. This channel was called A Sainted Soul because I just always felt connected to that, like since like 6-8 months ago. I've always loved the name Saint, and I feel like it's so in line with who I see myself as him down the lines, like how I carry myself, like how do I couple the core values and beliefs from Caprice and then transcending that into Saint, and what he looks like and what he speaks like and what he like, how he carries himself and how he speaks with conviction and assertiveness and confidence. And I see that person as Saint, and so that is my chosen name. When they say Saint, I'm like, oh yeah, like that's me. Like if there's no question, there's like who are they talking to? Like, wait, what? Like I know it's the right name. So again, I will be starting testosterone as a trans man this Thursday, 2 days from now at 11 a.m. I'll get my first shot, the highest dose possible. I'll take that once a week to start out with, and that'll be in my leg, and I cannot wait. I cannot wait for that moment. I'm just so anxious, and I'm so ready, and I just know that like with the love I have for myself and the respect that I have to be doing something so courageous, and the people that I have around me, like they've really shown me that they're here for me, like my friends, in ways that like, man, they've just really come through. I've told my sister, and there's some people in my family that I still need to talk to, and I think that'll be like a good step for me to really start walking in, speaking my truth, no matter how it might make somebody else feel, and just living that and owning it, and just trusting that it's really ultimately about me in that moment. And while I care about that person's feelings and they're valid and they can feel them, I also need them to see it from my point of view, because this is really important to me as someone that they love. It'll be my first time really stepping up and just doing that, so I'm looking forward to it. So yeah, with all that said, like you could look forward to seeing more things from me. I'm gonna be posting, just capturing videos for myself of this process. Like already, it's only been 2 weeks and so much has happened. Like I've gone from not knowing what to do at all to taking hard photos of myself that like I hate to see and I don't want anyone else to see, but to like get to where I need to get, doing those steps and just being so proactive. This really does feel almost like a side job, like a full-time job, like on top of other life, but like when it's important, you know it is, like it matters, and you just act and you do everything that you can to make sure that it's like, that it's happening. It's really cool to see myself like this motivated, because I haven't felt that in a really long time, like dedication and really trying to get something done that will better me in the future. So I'm just gonna keep focusing on that and capturing every moment. It flies by, and I just want to know that I had those moments on video and I could see myself and I can hear myself, so that I can remind myself later, like, hey, look at that person, like that's where you were, but like just keep getting to where you want to get to, and it'll just be nice to just always have that. Yeah, and it's just fun to create it, if anything else. Like I'm doing it for documentation, but also just to learn a new talents and skill set, and doing this film thing, and editing. It'll be the first time I ever edit a video, but I have some really great ideas, because when you're creative, it's really just about tapping into that mindset and that feeling, and kind of just going off of the process that you already know. Like it's literally the same thing as if I were to design, as to if I were doing something like this, or like anything creative, like in life. Just it's a process, and so you know it, and you just kind of follow that, and you can create whatever it is you're really trying to create, because it's just within you. It's just a different medium, but it's all art, power, and love at the same time. I felt really good to say. I'm wondering if I hit everything that I needed to say, but I mean, again, I'll just always be talking to the camera. I always talk to myself as it was anyway, and it's funny because I actually thought that I would do something like this like years and years ago. Like when I was in high school, like I would always talk and say, man, I really want to record myself and inspire people one day. And I'd say, no, there's no way I could do that. Never. So right now is my moment of doing everything that I didn't feel I could do, but know that I will and can. And with that, there's like nothing else I could like need. So I'm happy. I'm truly, I feel at ease. Like a weight is just off of me, and that's how I know that this is it. So here's to me being me.